and gentlemen, it's 7 o'clock. It's very good to see you. And there's only one thing all of you want to see. That is the exit poll numbers for Delhi. Let's quickly put them on your screens without much ado. The numbers, if you collate all of them, it seems the BJP has taken away Delhi, broken that 27-year jinx and is coming back to power, in fact, storming back to power in Delhi. That is if these numbers hold on February 8th. Just take a look at what different exit polls are giving us. JVC is giving the BJP 39 to 45, Matriz 35 to 40, PMark 39 to 49, TV9 36 to 44. What is the halfway mark in Delhi, ladies and gentlemen? The halfway mark in the 70-member assembly is 35. If you want a majority, add 1, 36. The BJP is way more than 36 if these exit poll numbers hold. All the 4 exit polls on our screens are giving the BJP a clear mandate, a clear majority, except Matriz, that seems to be suggesting it could be 50-50. What about the Congress? This was the election where the Congress was hoping to script a comeback. Has it managed to script a comeback, ladies and gentlemen? That picture will be only clear once we have the vote shares in. For the moment, JVC is giving the Congress up to 2 seats in the best case scenario. There's another exit poll that is giving them 1, which is Matriz. So has really the Congress made the comeback that it was supposed to? That doesn't seem to have happened, but we'll not speak now. We'll speak once we have the vote share for the Congress. Thank you to our guests who are joining us this evening. Dr. Rastogi with us, Ruhi Tewari is a senior journalist with us, and Karan continues to be with us here in the studio. Actually, he's just joined us. Hi, Karan. Good evening. Good to see you. Who should I start with? Karan, go ahead. Since you're in the studio, go ahead.
So, it's still a close election from where I see it, if you ask me. It's...
1 minute. You are telling me that you actually don't believe these numbers on your screens,
no.
that it could go any which way?
Absolutely. I think it's advantage BJP, but 4 or 5 seats, I'll be more intrigued by the vote share right now because it's very tricky to judge seats, It's not a landslide. It should have been a landslide if you ask me the truth, because I have not seen that kind of anger ever before in Delhi. At least in my living memory, I have not seen people so angry, whether it be with the roads, the sewage, the schools, everything, one and all. So I still believe that if AAP has managed these many seats, which it's showing, that means they've managed to hold on to their vote bank. And if that's the case, because this ain't an angry wave.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So either it would have been an angry wave or it would have been them holding on to their vote bank. And if AAP has managed to keep its vote bank together, they have a much better ground game than the BJP has. Let's be honest, if BJP wins also from here, it's not because of the efficiency of BJP Delhi. It's because people were so mad with AAP, because so disillusioned with their lack of governance, that they gravitated towards the next best alternative.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can of course keep your ears wide open for what we are saying, but I request all of you to just keep your eyes on the screen and eyes on the numbers, actually, more than Karan and me and everyone else. Just keep an eye out for the numbers on your screens, because that is what is telling us a story. Again, I'm saying we don't know if these numbers will hold on February 8th. These are numbers that pollsters have given out. These are exit poll numbers. Exit polls have gone horribly wrong in the past. For example, in Haryana, for example, 2024, we know what happened there as well. So we don't know if the numbers will hold or not. Take these numbers with a pinch of salt. But the direction of all, Ruhi, I'm just getting you in here. The direction of all these exit polls seems to be that the BJP has a clear edge. I mean, can I just ask you if the numbers on your screens are believable given what you have seen on the ground? Ek minute. Let Ruhi come in because she's been on the ground, yeah.
So Shreya, the usual disclaimers. Shreya, so the usual disclaimers about exit polls, as you've also been constantly given, I've been listening to you. We don't know whether these figures hold. The real picture is only going to be clear on the 8th. But I'll tell you what this Delhi election on the ground has been about. It's been about 2 very distinct narratives, and it's actually a very interesting election from that point of view. One is the narrative among the disadvantaged, economically weaker sections, where I feel the Aam Aadmi Party still has its hold fairly strong. It's fairly popular among that segment of voters. They are happy with the free bijli, free pani, shiksha, swasth, free bus rides for women. So these are the common refrains that you hear. among the disadvantaged sections. As you climb up the economic ladder, and that is where a bit of faltering for the Aam Aadmi Party starts, because that's where the question of a complete lack of development on the infrastructure front comes in. We've seen, everybody's seen, Delhi hasn't really seen any infrastructure development beyond what former Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit had done, which was 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago. So that's where the question about the Aam Aadmi Party's governance model is asked, and that's where the focus on the BJP shifts. So it is a question, this is an election of two narratives. One is Aam Aadmi Party Suvidha, which is popular among the economically disadvantaged sections, and then there is the BJP model of Vikas, which voters are talking about as you move slightly up the economic ladder. Now, which offsets what is the interesting bit about this election. One more thing, I would say Prime Minister Modi continues to remain very popular. Even among voters who say they will vote for the Aam Aadmi Party, there is a bit of understanding in their heads that we want Modi at the centre and Aam Aadmi Party in the state. So that also explains the BJP's performance in the Lok Sabha polls, across Lok Sabha polls, actually the last 3 Lok Sabha polls, where they've got 7 on 7 in Delhi. Having said that, I would still say that among the disadvantaged and poor section, Arvind Kejriwal's base remains. There is a lot of goodwill for, however you want to put it, the freebie model, the social welfare model, however you want to phrase it. But as you move up the economic ladder, there are big questions being raised.
Okay, but it's common knowledge that it is the poor sections of, and Ruhi, you could answer this question. It's common knowledge that it's the poorer sections who actually go out and vote, because if you look at Delhi's voting percentage right now, it will of course increase, but it's touching somewhere about 60%. Okay? So, if this was a vote of anger, then many more people would have come out and voted. That hasn't happened. So clearly, there is no inbuilt anger against the Aam Aadmi Party in this election. I want to ask you, it's the question I actually asked you initially as well. When you look at these exit poll numbers on your screens, are they believable in the sense that will you go with it, or will you say, nahi, ye theek nahi lag raha? I mean, the BJP will do well, but will the Aam Aadmi Party from 62 go down to 29? That is a little difficult to digest. How are you looking at it, Ruhi?
So Shreya, I don't get into the number games because that's not my craft. I'm not a psephologist. I'm not a pollster. I'm a journalist. I can only convey the mood on the ground. You rightly pointed out that the kind of anger that one would expect, if someone has been power for over 10 years, I don't think that kind of anger exists, to be very honest. And that is also reflected in the voting percentage, because, it's always in favor of the incumbent if it's not a very high voting percentage, because that means that people are not so angry that they want to come and vote and throw you out of power. So that, of course, would work in the favor of the Aam Aadmi Party. I think the kind of lead the Aam Aadmi Party has, it had 62 seats in the last election. It's a huge lead. So from that, how much can it come down is the big question. Is that kind of anger palpable, especially among the people, among the vote bank that is Aam Aadmi Party's vote bank, right? It has been, at least in the last election, the disadvantaged sections. Is that anger there? I'm not so sure. But as I said, there is a very, very sizable segment that is questioning the lack of infrastructure development. So it is a very interesting election where there are two very distinct narratives and two very different voter schools of thought.
Okay. Can I then just get in the two principal political parties into the conversation as well? Dr. Nimi Rastogi, Anirudh Pratap Singh of the BJP joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Nimi, I'm going to come to you first. Are you disappointed looking at these numbers? Because as the hours pass, and it's only been an hour since, actually half an hour since exit poll numbers started coming in, the picture isn't getting any better for you.
Shreya, in posterity, when me and you look back at this election, this will, come as a watershed line wherein a mighty party with all its muscle power, money, everything, all the immoral practices was challenged by one party, and had it not been for Aam Aadmi Party, Bharatiya Janata Party would have run amok. It would have diluted democracy, disregarded the constitution.
Dr.
used
Nimi, so are
every
you accepting that these
available-
numbers hold? Are you accepting that these numbers could come true? आप तो ऐसी बात कर रहे हैं कि there was mighty BJP, they used everything against us, but still we managed to stand.
I'm talking about the nature and caliber of this election. We have called out their game. They are very subtly, surreptitiously diluting democracy. It is people like Aam Aadmi Party that are necessary need of the hour to call out the game. To the way they misuse their power, the way the EC and every other possible agency has been misused by them. So this is a very serious situation. And Aam Aadmi Party holds its head high that we were able to challenge these mighty forces. That is why people like us. And that is why you'll see a much improved figure on the screen when the results come out.
But you're not saying a clear win, a sweep. You're saying a much improved figure. Dr. Rastogi, by the sounds of it, are you conceding defeat already?
Not at all. I said you will see clear picture because people are very smart. They understand the difference between a Beiman and Imandar. So we are our base is very strong. Our connect with Delhi is very, very strong. No exit poll can pronounce it, translate it. We can get fewer seats, but I'm hopeful that we will make a mark and we'll have above 50 seats.
Okay. You'll have above 50 seats. Anirudh Pratap Singh, would you want to come in here? I mean, there is enough reason to smile for the BJP, but I'm sure abhi koi laddu ke dabbe nahi khol raha hoga because these are exit polls that have known to get it wrong. And is the BJP even believing the numbers that are on our screens? Because I'm sure even the BJP didn't expect the kind of sweep and the kind of numbers that the poll of polls are giving it.
Namaskar, BJP are coming in power, Delhi government with thumping majority, and Aam Aadmi Party drowning Yamuna Nadi with Sheesh Mahal and Sarab in Yamuna Nadi. Major issue ये है कि इन्होंने जितने कमिटमेंट किए थे एक भी कमिटमेंट पूरा नहीं किया और सच बात है फैक्ट है कि इनका शीश महल और शराब यमुना नदी में इनको डुबो दिया. इन्होंने यमुना नदी में आए थे ये कहे थे कि हम डेवलप करेंगे यमुना जी को साफ करेंगे लेकिन यमुना जी को इन्होंने ऐसे साफ किया कि सिंगल सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट 2013 के बाद 2015 के बाद एक भी नहीं लगाया. जितने भी सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगे हुए थे एक भी इन्होंने सही नहीं किया. दिल्ली वालों का आपके दर्शकों को बड़ा ताज्जुब होगा कि 2% यमुना का केवल शेयर है दिल्ली के अंदर. बाकी 1370 किलोमीटर दिल्ली के आउटर साइड में बहता है लेकिन टोटल यमुना का जो पोल्यूशन है 80% दिल्ली से आता है. आपने यमुना साफ नहीं किया. आपने प्रॉमिस किया था कि स्कूल बनाएंगे स्कूल नहीं दिया. तो जाहिर सी बात है दिल्ली की बड़ी लिटरेट जनता है. यहां लोग समझते हैं कि भैया आपने जो कहा वो हमें पूरा करना. और केजरीवाल साहब तो इंजीनियर है मैं भी इंजीनियरिंग की पढ़ाई करके आया हूं. कम से कम उनको बाइनरी नंबर समझ में आना चाहिए 0 या 1. या तो आप करो या तो ना करो. अगर आप ये करते हैं फिर आप बहानेबाजी करने लगते हैं कि नहीं नहीं मुझे आप वोट मत करिएगा क्योंकि मैंने यमुना साफ नहीं किया. जब आपने यमुना साफ नहीं किया तो किसी ने वोट नहीं दिया. इनकी बस में चालाकी देखिए. इन्होंने कहा कि आप बस में जो फीमेल्स चलेंगी फ्री चलेंगी. गजब के इस आदमी ने दिमाग लगाया. बस इन्होंने एक भी बाई नहीं किया. जो बस आई वो अर्बन डेवलपमेंट ने इलेक्ट्रिक बस दिया फेम प्लान के थ्रू दिया. उसके बाद में इन्होंने क्या किया सबसे अच्छा अपने ड्राइवर को ट्रेनिंग दे दिया कि साहब अगर महिलाएं देखेंगे तो बस रोकना ही मत. मतलब आपने फ्री भी कर दिया. जो फीमेल दिखेंगे उनके लिए बस रोकना ही मत. आराम से हो गया कि हमने फ्री कर दिया. ये गजब की चालबाजी इन्होंने कर दिया. अब लोगों को समझ में आ रहा कि जो लोग बढ़ चढ़ के वोट दे रहे हैं मोदी जी ने जो गारंटी दिया जब जी
You are mentally bankrupt.
रुक जाइए डॉक्टर रस्तोगी. अनिरुद्ध जी एक बार बताइए आप चालबाजी की तो बात कर. एक सेकेंड अनिरुद्ध जी आप चालबाजी की तो बात कर रहे हैं आम आदमी पार्टी की लेकिन अगर आम आदमी पार्टी इतनी ही चालबाज थी तो आपने उनका मैनिफेस्टो क्यों कॉपी किया? हर फ्री भी जो वो दे रहे हैं आप प्रॉमिस कर रहे हैं.
नहीं हमने कॉपी कुछ नहीं किया.
नहीं
कॉपी कुछ नहीं किया. नहीं कुछ कॉपी नहीं किया. इनके जितने थे बता देते, एक इनका मैंने एग्जाम्पल दे दिया कि इन्होंने बस में मुझे जो बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट है जहां पे जो प्रॉमिस करते हैं उनको दिया जाता है, लीकेज खत्म किया जाता है, करप्शन फ्री है। ये नहीं है कि आप क्या कहते हैं फर्जी डेटा। इनका मोहल्ला क्लिनिक की
तो
स्थिति
2
है कि
करोड़ नौकरियां
65,
आ गई।
अरे एक मिनट मैडम, आपके
तो
मोहल्ला
15
क्लिनिक
लाख
का ये
रुपए आ
हालत
गए।
है कि 65
यमुना
लाख आपको
क्लिनिक
फर्जी
साफ
टेस्ट
हो
कर,
गई।
यमुना को बता दिया ना, आप इसका डेटा चेक कर लीजिए,
Dr.
मैं ही
Rastogi,
नहीं
give
बोल
me a
रहा हूँ।
minute. Let him
वाटर
finish. I'll
ट्रीटमेंट
come to
प्लांट
you.
कितना,
यमुना, लखनऊ
Dr.
का
Rastogi, I'll
pollution
come
कम
to
हो
you.
गया।
जी
अरे
मुझे बोल नहीं दी
रुक
जी।
जाइए डॉक्टर रस्तोगी, I'll
इनके
come to you. I promise I'll come to you after Anirudh ji finishes. Anirudh ji
जी
बोलिए.
इनके मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का हालत यह है कि 65 लाख इनको फर्जी टेस्ट कराने पड़ते हैं। 2 साल से इन्होंने अपने नर्सिंग वर्कर्स को, डॉक्टर्स को सैलरी नहीं दिया। साथ में क्या कहते हैं कि अभी अगर सैलरी नहीं दिया और ना 7 साल से सैलरी बढ़ाई, इन्होंने कहा कि हम मार्शल्स रखेंगे, बसों में रखेंगे, पता चला रखने की जगह पे उनको निकाल दिया। आपने कहा आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर्स, आशा कर्मी, एएनएम इनको परमानेंट करेंगे, अरे सब परमानेंट करने की जगह आपने उनको निकाल दिया। 17 लाख यूथ एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज में दिल्ली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के रजिस्टर्ड है, लेकिन साहब जॉब नहीं निकाल पा रहे हैं। कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी होती है, उसमें 2-4 लीडर हो सकता करप्ट होते हैं उसमें, लेकिन इनकी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी पूरे उसमें करप्ट है। जो इन्होंने प्रॉमिस किए थे कि हम एक डिफरेंट टाइप की पॉलिटिक्स में आए हैं, पढ़े लिखे लोगों के तरीके, मतलब तमाम इन्होंने प्रॉमिस करके आए थे, इस तरीके से करेंगे, उस तरीके, इन्होंने एक भी अपने प्रॉमिस। तो साहब आपको क्या लगता है कि 1.5 करोड़ जो यहाँ पे वोटर हैं सब बेवकूफ बैठे हुए, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा उनको कि आप पोल पे खंबे पे खड़े हो जाएंगे
ठीक
और
है,
वैगन आर लेके चलेंगे, डबल एक्सल शर्ट का प्रमोट करने के लिए 8,000 करोड़ रुपया खर्चा कर देंगे पब्लिसिटी में, लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है। दिल्ली के अंदर 45 लाख लोग ऐसे हैं
डॉक्टर
कि जो कि
रस्तोगी,
टैक्स पे करते हैं, 42 लाख लोग, उसमें से 39 लाख ऐसे हैं कि जो कि 12 लाख से कम का टैक्स पे करते हैं। उनको समझ में आता है कि बीजेपी ने, मोदी जी ने जो कमिटमेंट किया है, इनका जो वादा है उसमें
नहीं
900 रुपए का
नहीं,
लगभग
वो
बेनिफिट
भी तो
मिलता है।
चालबाजी थी
और
ना
बीजेपी
फिर.
के जी
अरे रुक जाइए, वो भी तो चालबाजी थी ना फिर, वो भी तो चालबाजी थी अनिरुद्ध जी. इलेक्शन के एकदम पहले आपने गुगली फेंक दिया कि 12
नहीं
लाख
मैम,
रुपए जो कमाता है सालाना उसको टैक्स नहीं देना पड़ेगा, तो चालबाजी तो वो भी है.
प्लीज गिव मी 10 सेकंड।
इलेक्शन है चालबाजी ओनली,
नहीं नहीं नहीं
है ना?
नहीं
ओके,
मैं वही
टेक 10 सेकंड्स.
10 सेकंड। 2017 में चुनाव होता है, यूपी का इलेक्शन होता है, हम लोग नोटबंदी, मोदी जी नोटबंदी करके चुनाव हम लोग जीते थे। ये संयोग है कि इत्तेफाक है कि 5 फरवरी को दिल्ली के इलेक्शन होता है, 1 फरवरी को बजट आना होता है। अब इसको आम आदमी चालबाजी समझे चाहे जो समझे, जो हुआ कंस्ट्रक्टिव तरीके से किया गया, क्योंकि डिबेट
अच्छा.
बजट पे नहीं, तो मैं पूरा बता दूं कंस्ट्रक्टिव तरीके से। पहले हमने अकाउंट ओपन किया, पहले धीरे धीरे जब
नहीं,
हमारी इकोनॉमी बूम करने लगी, जब 10 पे थे, आज हम लोग 5 पे हैं। मैडम आप ताली बजाएंगी, 8 तारीख को हम लोगों के लिए ताली बजाएंगी, और वहां का लड्डू तो बनना नहीं है। आप हमारे कार्यालय पाइएगा, हम
चलिए
आपको
डॉक्टर
लड्डू
रस्तोगी,
खिलाएंगे।
तब तक तो डॉक्टर रस्तोगी को बोलने दीजिए. अरे भैया, जब आप लड्डू खिलाएंगे तब दूसरी बात है, आज तो आप डॉक्टर रस्तोगी को बोलने दीजिए ना. Yes, Dr. Rastogi, please respond. It seems the BJP's argument is that दिल्ली का आम आदमी पार्टी ने इतना बेड़ा गर्क किया that people of Delhi refuse to believe you. This is the BJP's analysis of what the numbers are showing and why the numbers are showing that.
It's in their mind, it's not in the actual thing. 8 crore people have been benefited by Mohalla Clinic. How did they benefit without doctor salary and without false test? How? Like you can get the edit done. How did it happen? And they are saying about Marshall, etc. It is their LG who stopped the Marshall's commission. I mean, every other
मैडम
thing that
शीश
they
महल
say
बनाने
is false.
रोका नहीं, और मार्शल को जॉब देने के लिए, सैलरी देने के लिए रोक दिया।
इनकी आयुष्मान सेवा हरियाणा में बंद हो रही है because there are no hospitals and no doctors are taking it. They are saying it's a flawed scheme. And they are saying that Delhi should deploy it. Like, why should we deploy
केजरीवाल जी
when
फंस
our own
गए
health
दिल्ली में,
services, health policies
सच बात है।
is supreme? Why should we do it?
नहीं, फंसाया
केजरीवाल जी
किसने?
फंस
लोकेश
गए हैं
जिंदल.
बहुत
ओके
बुरी
ओके,
तरह।
1 मिनट. अगर अच्छा चलिए
दिल्ली से
देखते
निकल
हैं,
नहीं
लेकिन
पा रहे।
लोकेश जिंदल जी, फंसाया किसने इज द पॉइंट. अरविंद केजरीवाल को फंसाया किसने? कहीं कांग्रेस ने तो नहीं फंसाया. बिकॉज the Aam Aadmi Party for a long time has been saying in this election that Congress is the B team of the BJP. Imagine, we have come to a point where someone is calling the Congress party a B team of the BJP, and that it is the BJP that has funded elections for many Congress netas. तो ये जो काम खराब किया है आम आदमी पार्टी का, we don't know if these numbers will stand or not, but अगर आम आदमी पार्टी का काम खराब हुआ है तो फिर तो ये कांग्रेस ही ने किया है. You ate away their votes.
Yes, good evening. the core voter base of Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, they happen to be same in the preceding elections, the general elections. But then with respect to the issues that on which Congress had contested the elections and issues on which Aam Aadmi Party contested the elections were entirely different. Aam Aadmi Party was riding on the incumbency, you can say, report card, whether they have performed well in the previous 10 years or not. And Congress was seeking a comeback because Congress, along with the entire organization, was aiming at reaching out to those voters jo root gaye. And it was aiming at reviving that very spirit that existed during the time period of Sheila Dikshit. So I would say here Congress was on a revival mode and Aam Aadmi Party was on survival mode. And it is within this entire gimmick that this election was contested. So I would say that, yes, it was a triangular contest. Congress reached out to the voters. Those voters who were disappointed by the Aam Aadmi Party, they would have gone to the Congress and there the Congress would have gains. And what BJP is claiming, yes, there are certain areas where the disillusioned voters will be attracted by BJP as well. So I would say that this election is going to be a very close contest. Yes, Shreya.
Okay, again, this is what Pradeep Gupta seems to have said as well. I spoke to him at 6:15. I asked him if he's putting out his numbers or not. You know, and he said, "Main nahi kar raha. It's too big a risk. Let me wait for a couple of hours and see if I'm confident enough to put out the numbers. And if I'm not confident about putting out the numbers today, I'm going to put out the numbers tomorrow because this is an open election. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai. The one thing that will not happen is a hung assembly." So, Ruhi Tewari, I'm going to get you in here and ask you if someone spoiled the game for the Aam Aadmi Party. Was it the Congress Party? And can the Congress Party alone be blamed for the Aam Aadmi Party's fate?
Look, I mean, I think it's a democracy. It's very unfair to blame a party for somebody else losing. It's the Congress has to fight an election. It cannot not fight an election just because it wants the BJP to lose. I don't think that's a fair way of ever looking at anything in democracy. Congress has every right to fight an election, has every right to try and do as well as it can, even if it cuts into the votes of Aam Aadmi Party and benefits the BJP.
No, Ruhi,
which obviously,
question,
if the Congress does end up doing reasonably
Ruhi,
well,
give me a minute. Can I just give the background to my question? The background is in 2024, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party fight the election together.
Sure.
2025 में divorce हो जाता है, यहाँ तक कि Rahul Gandhi starts berating Arvind Kejriwal and saying इसने तो सारे पैसे शीश महल पे लगा दिए. So, you know, in hindsight, would it have been more prudent if the two parties had stuck together despite their differences? Maybe the fate wouldn't have been what it is on our screens.
Shreya, I'm not sure whether the Congress is an asset or a liability to begin with. I think that is also a big question for anybody who wants to ally with the Congress. Now, I'll tell you one thing in Delhi right now. It's so unfortunate that there is so much goodwill for Sheila Dikshit even today across voters, whether it's a voter that's supporting the Aam Aadmi Party or if it's a voter supporting the BJP. Everybody recalls Sheila Dikshit's tenure with a lot of admiration and the work she did on the infrastructure development front. So it's so unfortunate that the Congress has just squandered it away, completely frittered it away, hasn't been able to build on it. And today, unfortunately, it is a fringe player in Delhi. And that it's something that the Congress should reflect upon. Any kind of revival that it wants to do nationally should actually begin from smaller experiments like Delhi, where you've already had a hole and it's a very small state to deal with. And even that, the Congress is really faltering. So I think that's something the Congress should reflect upon. I don't know if you can blame the Congress, as you were asking, about for if the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't win or does badly. it should be blamed for its own performance. Why is it that when you had such a strong platform, why is it that you haven't been able to build on it? It's rather unfortunate as far as the Congress is concerned. Yes, to your question about if they had worked together, would it have helped in terms of the division of vote? Of course, there is a common vote bank that the two parties share. So if any kind of division does benefit the third party, which is the BJP, particularly the minority vote. But I will say something about the minority vote, Shreya. Having seen the Lok Sabha elections, they are voting very strategically now, and the minorities are voting in the direction that is best poised to defeat the BJP. So I don't know how much of that vote is going to get divided and how much that's going to really hurt the Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, the numbers on your screens. Karan, you want to say something? Can we just hold it for a minute? I need to take a commercial break. वो भी ज़रूरी है भाई. But the numbers on our screens, exit polls, we'll have to see whether they hold on February 8th. But it is what it is. The numbers are on your screens. The BJP, it seems, is in pole position to form the government in Delhi. For the first time after 27 years, the Aam Aadmi Party that has ruled Delhi for the last 10 years, it seems, is getting swept away. Their seat share has fallen to below 30. Right now in the assembly of 70, they have 68 seats. From 62 seats, I beg your pardon. So from 62 to go down to less than 30, to go down to 39 is something. And the BJP, well, they only have 8. And from 8 to go up to 41, if these numbers hold, is pretty spectacular. Congress ka kya kahe? They were 0 the last 2 times. By the looks of it, they'll be 0 this time as well. And if they open their account, well, good for them. For the moment, a quick break. Our analysis continues about the exit polls. It's a fun exercise. You can choose to believe these numbers. You can choose not to believe these numbers. But it's at least entertaining. A quick break. Back with more.